Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne, and if you're new here, welcome to my regulars and my members, my choir. It's great to see you again. So we have got some interesting developments in the whole Porter ABC case, because Christian Porter today filed a document to state that his legal fees have been paid by a blind trust. Yes, a blind trust has decided to give him money to pay his legal fees for suing the ABC for defamation, which was settled out of court. Now, I have lots of questions about that. It has gone down like a lead balloon. Former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has come out criticising it. Possibly Stevie Wonder. Rufus. Hello, Robin. Hello, Cal. Hello, Bo. So if somebody is sitting around with this type of money, I'm more than happy for you to throw it my way. You don't need to give it to Mr. Porter. So we've got that and several articles. Plus, I've got the document that was filed in the court as well. We want to talk about Hello Plan to Create. We want to talk about ICAC and Daryl Maguire and the New South Wales Premier, because there's rumours, there's a thought that the reason why she's not doing any more press conferences is because of the fact that she's getting questions about ICAC, about her ex-boyfriend and corruption. Want to talk about the fact that the opposition, that politicians turned up to work today, except the government, and the parliament got shut down because the government didn't turn up. We want to talk about that. And that's that's essentially the plan for tonight. So it's all around politics tonight, corruption, and lots of questions. I don't think we're going to get the answers to them all. I'd love to get answers to everything, but who knows? So hello, Will. It's just fascinating, these developments that have just come today. Yeah, well, it's funny because Braz is actually he's now involved. Braz is now sort of involved in that investigation because he's now saying it's none of his business. And I think if the leader of the state has to front ICAC, I think it is the public's business. So, yeah. And I want to thank you all for last night too, with our sports stuff. It was a good night, and I know that our guest is rather keen to come back on at some point in time. So if it's something that you think that we could do again, let me know. I do need to apologize. It was last minute organized. It was fun last night. Cool. I'm glad it was fun. I'll plan it better next time. I actually only messaged him an hour beforehand to see if he was free. It was an idea I had late. And I said to him that it would just be for an hour. So that's why I stuck to close to an hour as I could. But yes, it was a good night last night. So nice, easy, laid back stream. And thank you to Ozbel for the thumbnail. The thumbnail was amazing. So, all right. Hello, Will. All right. So let's get onto it. So let's have a look first at what was filed in Parliament today. So this has all come about because of a declaration that was received today. So this is the document. Oh, that's good, Robin. It's very interesting when you start talking about integrity of journalism and opinions and all of that sort of stuff, because he said that commentary is opinion based. It was very interesting. Great. He'll be thrilled to hear all of that. Okay, so this is what it says. Parliament House of Representatives. So this is Christian Porter. So this was fine. This was actually came about from Samantha Maiden from news.com.au, who actually put this document on display and said that there were questions to be asked. And so throughout the day, the media's picked up on it. So I've got various articles from different newspapers just so that we can compare what they're about. So this says, in March 2021, I commenced defamation proceedings in a purely personal capacity against the ABC and Miss Louise Milligan. That's in the court number. On August 31st, 2021, this matter was finalised by the court. Although these matters have been conducted in a personal capacity and all legal services were gauged in a purely personal capacity and an abundance of caution and consistent with approaches adopted by other parliamentarians in relation to the provision of reduced fee or pro bono legal services, I advise that in addition to my own personal funds, the following contributions have recently or may shortly be made. As has publicly reported, as part of the settlement, an amount was paid by the ABC to Company Giles. Now that the matter has been resolved, the relevant cheque will be deposited in Company Giles' trust account and applied to my account. Now, I thought there was no monies paid. The only money that I thought that was paid was the mediation fees. So I don't know what money is going into his account. Part contribution of the payment of my fees by a blind trust known as Legal Services Trust. As a potential beneficiary, I have no access to information about the conduct and funding of the trust. My engagement of Miss Chrysanthou, remember that's Brazz's barrister, was on a commercial fee arrangement. However, consistent with her practice for individual clients, she did not charge me for all the time she spent on the matter. And in the recent settling of her fees, I am aware there has been a reduction in fees, which has resulted in me having received some services from Miss Chrysanthou on a reduced fee basis. Although all of the above contributions were made to me or were for my benefit in a purely personal capacity, in the interest of transparency and out of an abundance of caution, I make this disclosure pursuant to item 14 of the Register of Members' Interest. So that is what he filed. Now, I noticed he used the word personal. I actually counted at that time 5 times. He used the word personal capacity or personal. So, Dan Plantocat says, Stanchel knows his stuff. Seems like a really nice person. Just imagine if Jordan Rebel got $1 billion. Well, and hello, Mama Jick. The thing that I find most interesting is how much Braz went on about the fact that Jordan was crowdfunded for his defamation fees. Shank's got money from the public to fund his, and I have to pay for my own. So let's have a look at these articles. And then I want to show you what Malcolm Turnbull has to say. Hello, Spanky. All right. So this says, mystery donors pay some of Christian Porter's legal fees for defamation action against the ABC. Now, don't forget that the taxpayers of Australia have had to pay for this legal action because the taxpayers fund the ABC. The taxpayers have had to pay his mediation costs. Taxpayers have had to pay for the lawyers. The taxpayers have already had to pay for all of this stuff. There is no way that we should have to pay for Porter to sue our public broadcaster. So, former Attorney General Christian Porter has told federal parliament anonymous donors have covered some of the legal fees he racked up during his defamation case against the ABC, and says he has no way of finding out who they are. A trust is a way for an individual or company to hold assets such as money for the benefit of a third party. A blind trust refers to the beneficiary, in this case, Mr. Porter, being shielded from any knowledge about how much money is in the trust, where it came, or who manages it. Now, a blind trust, in my opinion, takes away accountability and transparency. This money could have fallen off the back of a truck, for all I know. It could be dirty money. Marmaduke, we had a sports commentator on last night and talked sports with us. And his name was Dan. So this could have been dirty money for all we know. It's fallen off the back of the truck. In May, Mr. Porter decided to discontinue the defamation claim against the public broadcaster and journalist Louise Milligan. The trust laws are very rigid. It's very difficult to find out who's a trust maker. Okay, well, that's good to know. But only got to be where he is. Yeah. So it related to an article that reported a letter had been sent to Prime Minister Scott Morrison containing a historical R against Christian Porter. All right. So no damages were paid and no apology was issued by the ABC. The public broadcaster did agree to pay the costs of mediation. So he agreed to pay the costs of they agreed to pay the costs of mediation. So what is this money that he's talking about that the ABC paid to the lawyer to be paid to him? There's something not right here. So the federal opposition has poured scorn on the declaration with Shadow Attorney General Mark Dreyfus. Now, Mark Dreyfus is a QC, describing it as a disgrace. Christian Porter's claim to have no idea who funded his $1 million legal case is an outrageous abuse of his office, he said in a statement. The Australian people need to know who set up this trust, who funded it, how much was donated, and whether they expected to get anything in return for the donations. If Mr. Porter generally doesn't know who his donors are, he should not take the money. Oh, Will says money grows on trees. Oh, okay. Well, I need to find a money tree. A spokesman for Mr. Porter, now the Minister for Industry, Science, Technology, said no taxpayers' funds were used in meeting the costs of the minister's actions against the ABC and Milligan, which have now concluded. Excuse me, Mr. Spokesman. We had to pay mediation. We've had to pay. It's cost us. The minister has undertaken disclosure in accordance with the requirements of the register and consistent with the previous member's disclosure of circumstances where the costs of personal legal matters have been mitigated by contributions or reductions in fees. A couple of weeks after discontinuing the defamation suit, Mr. Porter did not rule out accepting donations. His declaration to Parliament also noted his barrister, Sue Chrysanthou, had discounted her fees for his case. That's Brazz's lawyer. So, there's something, in my opinion, there's something on the nose, really. And the interesting thing is that he's also appealing the decision for his lawyer for Chrysanthou to have to stand aside for a conflict of interest because he's up for a $500,000 settlement for that one. So this is the Guardian. This is what the Guardian reported. Well, I agree. I mean, I agree I think I think now he's proven he's unfit to be in Parliament. Yes, I did see that. I've got that to look at today. Did you see that Parliament was to sit in New South Wales? So Labor backbenchers all turned up, but no Gladys. Yes, the government didn't bother turning up. So, hello, Jenna. So he said in May that he would fund the Porter has repeatedly refused to guarantee he would fund the entire cost of the case himself, and he may decline to rule out plans for a supporter to pick up the bill. So, Porter, March 2021. So it says in changes to his register of interests registered on Tuesday, Porter declared additional sources of funding for the court case as an other interest. Porter said he bought the case, which was finalised on August 31st of August, and incurred costs purely in a personal capacity. Well, you pay the fees in a purely personal capacity. Can you see that I'm a bit annoyed? So it's funny they've highlighted this. No taxpayers' funds were used. Of course they were used. We funded the ABC. Chill. Porter has suggested he will recontest his seat of Pearce, although Labor's popularity rising in Western Australia has made this usually safe seat, a 7.5% margin, a potential target. Now, he is actually at risk of losing his seat. In May, Porter told Sky News he was absolutely committed to the government and that it had never occurred to me to not be part of that going on, because I think I have something to offer as part of that government. I'm completely committed to my electorate. I'm completely committed to the government, he said, without directly confirming he would seek re-election. I believe that he's been given the stamp of approval. So let's have a look. Malcolm Turnbull has now got involved. So it started off, he corrected something from Lara Tingle, but he says, sorry to correct, but I did not use a blind trust when my interests were all disclosed. Porter should disclose the people who paid his legal fees or give the money back. With a typical blind trust, you know where the money came from. It is contributed by the beneficiary on the basis that the trustee then invests it in assets without reference to the beneficiary, who is blind as to how the money is invested. I don't think it is acceptable in public life, but Porter's case is much worse than the conventional blind trust, because we don't even know where the money came from. It is so wrong. A blind trust is where the beneficiary does not know what the trust's assets are. The trustee is supposed to not tell the beneficiary what they are. Oh, yeah, totally fails the pub test. So someone says, just the fancy brown paper bag, to be honest. He said, nailed it. That's the problem. It's like saying my legal fees were paid by a guy in a mask who dropped off a chafe bag full of cash. So then someone says, if CP can do it, then us regular Joes should be allowed to accept money in a bag by mysterious masked Robin Hood as well. But the criminal justice system isn't designed for us. It's designed for the CPs of the country. So Malcolm Turnbull, former Prime Minister, has come out and said, this is wrong. It is definitely, let's just say it's not gone down very positive. A lot of people are not very happy. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. I think there's something on the nose about it all. So, well, according to the government's web, yes, no one's above the law. So anyway, so that is all to do with Christian Porter. I think that's all of those ones. I think that's all of those stories. But we've got former. I mean, Turnbull was Porter's previous old boss. So well, that's a very interesting question, Dang. Yeah, well, Bruz. Well, I mean, is Bruz now going to try and get a? Is Bruz now going to try and find a blind trust? That's what I want to know. So what are your thoughts on it? Does it sound like it's dodgy? I mean, it sounds dodgy to me, but I'm just an average Joe. I'm just an average Joe. We're going to be talking about the disappearing New South Wales government. Yes, we are going to be talking about the disappearing New South Wales government. Yes. I've got something else to talk about in between. Yes, we are. Well, that's the other thing as well. All right, so let's talk about the New South Wales disappearing government. Yes, this is correct. The government did not turn up to work, by the way. And yet, it's been reported as a selfish stunt. Not that the government is selfish, but the people that turned up to work are selfish. I'm not joking. An attempt to force the New South Wales Parliament Upper House to resume sitting amid the state's COVID crisis has failed, with the government branding the move a political and selfish stunt. That's a good point, Graham, because he has actually backed Rudd on the Murdoch media stuff. The Legislative Council was due to sit this week for the first time since June, but the government lobbied for proceedings to be cancelled as it deemed the health risk it posed too high. Parliament rules require a government minister to be present for proceedings, and none would attend. The coalition's leader in the upper house, Damien Tudor Hope, promised earlier this month. But Labor members and crossbenchers have argued the meeting conducted in adherence with a strict COVID-safe plan are essential to allow transparency and accountability during unprecedented times. The House convened on Tuesday anyway, with the minimum number of representatives in the chamber and the rest tuning in online. But within minutes, Nationals MP Trevor Khan rose to point out the absence of any minister in the House. I love it. Democracy is an essential service, leader of the opposition in the Legislative Council, Penny Sharp, told the chamber as it debated the rule preventing it from resuming official business. The Greens have argued if Bunnings can open safely, so should Parliament. Good point. I don't understand why they can't do it on Zoom like the rest of us all have to do. We have the most comprehensive COVID safety rules in place. That makes this one of the safest workplaces in the country, Greens MLC David Shoebridge told the Parliament. And the other thing is that they've been holding parliamentary committees over Zoom. Anyway, Legislative Council President Matthew Mason Cox said he had no option but to cancel proceedings. I have no choice but to leave the chair. I ask honourable members to reflect on their personal responsibility to this House and the people of New South Wales, he said. So why is the people that turned up to work getting the telling off? Mr. Tuddenhope blasted the MPs, saying the government had been clear Parliament would resume on October 12 to help curb the spread of COVID-19. This is a political and selfish stunt, a move which only satisfies their own agenda, and the results puts parliamentary staff, their families, and our communities at risk of transmitting COVID-19, he said in a statement. He noted a cross-party committee from the lower house agreed to follow the House advice and postpone the scheduled sitting period in September. Labor cannot have one policy for the Legislative Assembly and another policy for the Legislative Council, he said. So those that turned up to work as agreed are in trouble. Those that couldn't be bothered or just turn up when they have to, i.e. the Premier, didn't. What on earth is happening? Can someone explain it all to me? Because it's not making me any sense. Good morning, Mimo. So this is from the West Australian. So this is an opinion piece. It's written by a Labor MP. Okay, so we know that this is going to have a bias. Government MPs are essential workers, so why aren't they at work? The Premier's recent announcement that she will not be regularly attending the 11 a.m. press conferences demonstrates that the barrel-jiggling government is hiding from scrutiny. It is now vital that members of the government turn up for today's scheduled sitting of the upper house of New South Wales Parliament to allow our communities to have a voice through their elected representatives. And we know they didn't. I agree, Graham. If they're not prepared to turn up to work, get out from whatever party. This is the thing, Marmaduke. So many of us would love to work, but we can't. If somebody who doesn't want, like if a politician doesn't want to work, I'm more than happy to go take their seat. Well, that is true, Cal. That's why I'm trying. And the thing is, I could only find 2 articles on this actual topic. No one's covering it. So Parliament has not been sitting since June 24. It's been continuing to boycott Parliament. The Labor opposition, together with the majority of the crossbench, find this unacceptable. You want to hold me to that? Hey, if there's a seat, I'll take it. I'm happy to take it, Andrew. I'm happy to take it. New South Wales Labor leader Chris Minns has rightfully been highlighting how deeply concerning it is that we are the only parliament in Australia not to be convening. The federal parliament has continued to operate and the Victorian parliament is also returning. There are no viable reasons why the barrel-jiggling government members should not turn up to parliament today. No other parliamentary representatives in our country are shirking their responsibilities. So they've got a COVID-safe plan, mask wearing, social distancing. They've upgraded the ventilation systems. There's a limited number of members that are permitted in the chamber at a time. There's remote access. And under the public health orders, members of parliament are deemed essential workers. So his point is he thinks it's disgraceful that the government expects the health, transport, supermarket workers, and others to turn up to work each day while they are refusing to do the same. The public expects their elected representatives will carry out their jobs. So residents from communities across the state have been constantly reaching out to many parliamentarians, wanting answers from the government. So many are struggling to make ends meet. People have lost their jobs. Small businesses have been devastated. Parliament is an essential way that they can take up the people's issues to government. Our communities deserve to be heard. The government has confirmed that October will be the most difficult month in the public. This is the thing. Government has confirmed that October will be the most difficult month the public health system has ever faced in New South Wales. The health system is in crisis and at breaking point. Health workers are overwhelmed, extremely concerned about resourcing. Frontline workers cannot work because they are close contacts of cases. They want clear answers about what the government is doing to ensure the hospitals are staffed and adequately resourced. With cases not peaking, the residents and frontline workers need to see the government's plan on how it's all going to work. And they're wanting to go, they're going to open up Parliament when it's at the worst time. We need complete transparency around the government's decisions. They must be subject to scrutiny. We've been in a pandemic for 18 months. Must front up and stop hiding. They must be accountable to the people of the state. They should not be empty. And then he says, Labor will be in the chamber today waiting. I hope the government stops running scared from accountability. So he, yeah. So Graham says the Victorian Labor government should have been sacked last year for the same thing. Same goes for New South Wales or any other government that does not do its job. It's shameful. All right. It's pretty So for all of you that are overseas, what are you thinking for all of the people overseas? What are your thoughts on all of this? Imagine the government not turning up to work. So then, tell you the stuff that I do for you guys, I've actually had to buy a subscription to the Daily Tally for this. Oh. So this is ICAC. This is actually going to mention peaches and guitars, hey? This mentions bras. Many overseas countries think Australia is lazy. This isn't helping. Probably thank the Lord that we're not over there. Probably, Cooper. Or Bo says, ours turns up but doesn't work anyway. What we're actually discovering, our politicians are just the same all over the world, correct? Tell you, I'd like to bang a few heads together. That's actually a problem in some of our really? Wow. And that's the point, Cal. You need to do your own research and make your vote wisely. Yes. Dang says, I could go some time off, but I'm a truck driver, so apparently I'm essential. You all keep buying things. Well, yeah. Well, actually, this is the thing. My bed broke the other day. I wake up on the floor because my bed was 15 years old and it snapped. I ordered a new bed frame on Sunday and I wasn't expecting it. It arrived at the depot today, but it can't be delivered for another 2 days because guess what? There's been a COVID issue and everything is now sitting in the warehouse waiting. So I've got to wait. I've got another few nights sleeping on the floor. So, but this is, I don't know that, COVID is a big problem for the New South Wales. Joanne makes a good point, men think and act the same regardless. Yeah, and that's, and I think that's the worry. I think that's the worry for me is, I know for me, I would take the job so seriously. But anyway, but this, I think, this is the biggest problem. I was going to retype it. You have 5 bed frames in your garage, Will. Maybe you've got them all. Sorry, posted slow here. EB said packages would come back to us if shipped. Well, it's interesting. I've had something shipped from the US. It's taken six. It's nearly 8 weeks. It's still not to me yet, but it's taken 8 weeks to get to me. So this is what I believe, and this is my opinion, why the Premier of New South Wales does not want to face media conferences anymore. Jenna Sweet Tea says they're going to have another Christmas sponsored by Amazon. Cool. That too, the Fox. That is true. Well, see, the Victorian opposition government have made an attorney, their shadow attorney general. He's not a lawyer. It's Dim Tim. How can the shadow attorney general challenge the government on legislation for the law when he has no idea what the law is? My thinking is that was a job that was promised for a vote in the leadership's bill. I mean, if you look federally, Michaela Cash, she's a lawyer, but the opposition attorney general is a QC. So it says, so no comment. New South Wales cabinet ministers called to ICAC over Premier's ex-boyfriend, Daryl Maguire. Deputy Premier John Barilaro, here he is again. He's caught up in some more. Has refused to say whether he has given evidence to the ICAC as part of the ongoing investigation into Gladys Berejiklian's former boyfriend. Yes, will. Other than the Solicitor General, but yes, it's the highest law officer. So when you're talking about the Attorney General of the state is the highest law officer in the state. So you would assume that the shadow Attorney General, would have to be a lawyer. Because, as I said, how is he going to state that something isn't lawful if he's not a lawyer? So here we go. Deputy Premier John Barilaro has refused to say whether he has given evidence to the ICAC. It is a bit like that, isn't it? As part of an ongoing investigation into Gladys Berejiklian's former boyfriend. It comes after reports that Mr. Sorry, I need to cut that out. Cut. It comes after reports that Mr. Barilaro and Tourism Minister Stuart Ayres were called to appear before the corruption watchdog over former Wagga Wagga MP Daryl Maguire and a grant he obtained for his electorate with the help of Miss Berejiklian. Oh. I'm not going to comment. If that was true, it'd be against the law for me even to comment, Mr. Barilaro told 2GB. If you ask me that question again, I'll get the fixated persons unit onto you. Asked whether the Premier has further questions to answer, Mr. Barilaro says, I'm not going to make any running commentary on what's occurred. You know, there's been a lot in the public domain in relation to Daryl Maguire. Let's allow the ICAC to continue in doing its work. I'm sure we'll all know sooner or later, he said. It comes as the Premier declined to say whether she thinks the public should be told if she or her ministers come under investigation. But okay, so let's put it to the general public. If the Premier or one of the senior cabinet ministers is under investigation by ICAC, should the people know? I believe they should. I believe it's in the public's interest to know whether ICAC is investigating the Premier. Because I want to know whether this is why she only wants to turn up to work when she has to. The Premier said questions about ICAC investigations remained a matter for the agency while refusing to be drawn on whether she had been asked to give further evidence to the corruption watchdog's investigation into her former boyfriend, Darryl Maguire. She would not be drawn on questions regarding ministers. The comments come amid concerns from her colleagues there might be something fishy going on, with Miss Berejiklian appearing to be under increasing pressure and refusing to answer ICAC-related questions. She was grilled over her decision to end daily 11 a.m. COVID briefings only days after reports emerged that ICAC was recommencing investigations into Mr. Maguire. Miss Berejiklian said she would front the media when I feel I need to be accountable. Well, guess what, darling? You need to be accountable. Asked directly if she was asked to provide evidence to ICAC in coming days, she said, I don't have anything to add on that matter. Further pressed on whether someone named as a person of interest by the ICAC could remain in cabinet, she said, I've made my position on those matters very clear in the past. I don't have anything new to add. A Liberal source said Miss Berejiklian should have said the answer to that was no. There's something fishy going on, the source said. Miss Berejiklian accepted that the next 2 months were expected to be the worst for the state, but doubled down on her stance that she needed to step away from the daily grilling to have a clear head. I need a clear head. The next 2 months will be the most challenging our state has perhaps ever seen, she said. But why does she need a clear head if she's taking health advice? So look, I know that she's not been taking health, but if you're taking, hello, short order cook, if you are taking your advice from your chief health officer and your chief health officer has said X, Y, Z has to be done, then you implement X, Y, Z. Correct? Now, for all the criticism that they give Andrews, he firmly puts it down to health advice. It was nice to see the privilege to attend the Met Gala. I am glad the elite have it all obtained. It must be unwashed. Yes. So, and then I was also reading that a group of epidemiologists are very concerned that if they open up, like they said, New South Wales, that it's going to be worse than what they've got now. And that just freaks me out. All right, see you, dang dang. All right. So we probably need to lighten the mood a little bit. I came across a channel today that is hilarious. It is regarding Katie Joy. I'd like to see more of the media cover it, but it's very hard to find a lot of this stuff, which is why I'm trying to get it out there. I mean, I don't have the skill of sheets. I don't have a script, but I'm trying to get it out there. They have to start somewhere. Well, I mean, we're supposed to be getting our roadmap out of lockdown, but I don't think we'll be out before November. All right, so we just segued to Katie Joy because we haven't spoken about it, and she's just, it's been crazy on the Katie Joy train. I don't want to bore you, but I found this. Now, you have to go and find this person. Mocking media. Everybody loves a sing-along. This is called Singing a Different Tune. I swear you are going to love this. Has anyone seen it? By any chance? You still reckon Christmas before you get out? Yeah. I was hoping to be out by Christmas, but I mean by my birthday, actually. Oh, thank you, Cal. Very nice of you. We would be if it wasn't for school. It's the school issue that I think is going to hold us back. All right. Christmas, what year? Oh, right. I swear you're gonna love this. All right, you're gonna love this, and you don't have to like Katie Joy. You don't have to be a fan. I know that not all of you like her coverage. So people have been doing songs. Watch this one. I'm going to have another COVID birthday. Here we go. Watch this. Do you need to see it again? I'll see if I can make it bigger for you so you can really take it in. We'll watch it again, all right? Oh, well, you've just become an uncle tonight. Well, that's why you got the sing-along. That's why you got the sing-along. All right, let's watch it again. Oh, it's good, isn't it? I'll try and make it as big as I can so that you can watch it all, so you can see it again. All right, let's watch it again. Oops. I have a discharged ginger. Slips like a girl. Secret romance. Okay, this. I met this stranger. So I realized nothing was their fault. But somehow from the following. And the Katie Colt. The Katie Colt. The Katie Colt. And the Katie Colt. All right. That was brilliant, wasn't it? Congratulations, Cooper. Wow. All right. So just so that you get that again, that's called mocking media. That's not all that they've got. They've got another one. Okay. I don't know who mocking media is. If mocking media, you are somehow watching this, you are brilliant. That was clever. So this is called mocking media, RAP, political correctness. So that was singing. Then there is this one, crisis hotline. Let's have a look at this one. So there's a whole pile here. All right. So let's have a look at this one. And I did subscribe.
Hello. Thank you for calling the Mocking Media Crisis Hotline. This is Amber. How can I help you today? Uh-huh. Right. How bad are the wards right now? I see. So you're saying they're all over the place. You believe you got them from your husband? Yes. I'm sure he's a great guy. Yes, I believe I can help you. I would suggest that you stop sleeping with a toad. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
I haven't seen that one. That punchline. I suggest you stop sleeping with a toad. Oh, let's watch that one again. All right. All right, let's watch that again. All right. All right.
Thank you for calling the Mocking Media Crisis Hotline. This is Amber. How can I help you today? Uh-huh. Right. How bad are the wards right now? I see. So you're saying they're all over the place. You believe you got them from your husband? Yes. I'm sure he's a great guy. Yes, I believe I can help you. I would suggest that you stop sleeping with the toad. Bye-bye.
It's just the way that is done so beautifully. Not that I have seen, Will. I've seen there's a whole lot of other stuff here. Oh boy, that's brilliant. Oh boy. Oh, and Mocking Media only has 156 subscribers. I think we've got to do something about that. Oh dear me. So, as I said, they've got quite a few videos here. They've got R. Kelly, they've got Carl Curtis, they've got Uni Rock. I'm too scared to click on more. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I only saw those two today. So singing a different tune, which is the Brady Bunch and the Crisis Hotline. Hello, Rosalind. How are you? Oh. So anyway, that I think the Brady Bunch theme is the best that wins the video. There's been some good videos out, but I have to see. WIACB versus WIACB is a good one too. Yes, I have subscribed to that one too. Oh boy. Ugh. can't believe it. All right. Anyway. Oh, so I haven't seen what the Twitter's been like today. So let's just have a quick look. I'm not going to make this a long stream tonight. I've spent all day in front of the computer, so I'm and I've got all day in front of the computer tomorrow. That being said, I've got an assignment due this week, my big one. Then I've got an assignment due next week, and then I get a week off, and then I'm down to 8 weeks to go, which I find, which is scaring the living daylights out of me. So you should check out my girl, Normal Bird Lady. Yeah, I've heard about Normal Bird Lady. So, oh boy, she's been going on about Trisha Paytas. Let's have a look at what. Oh boy. Oh. So I understand everyone says Trisha is a liar. Yes, I understand Trisha lies. Yes, I understand Trisha struggles with emotional control, impulsivity, and anger. Trisha seems to struggle with delusions and paranoia as well. Trisha is not perfect, but they're also mentally ill. I thought Katie Joy was talking about herself there for a minute. So the other thing I want to know is, do you believe that police, that photo of the sheriff was photoshopped? Because I tell you what, one of those legs looked horribly. Look, I'm just going to try and find it. Where's it? Because I reckon, is this the photo? Oh, yeah, this is the photo. This has to be photoshopped. Because I don't believe that that's the proper leg. Is this leg looks thinner than that one, right? Wasn't she criticizing Kardashian the other day? Kim Kardashian the other day, or one of the Kardashians, for photoshopping? So she put the picture right up after her live, and it was fake. I mean, for me, what stands out to me is it's the leg. What's it a photo of? Short order cook. Apparently, it says, stop calling CPS and police on us. Another false report of a woman claiming to have seen a video of me physically abusing my son. No such video like that exists. You know you are all lying. You scream at me for doxing. No, this is doxing. This is me being doxed. So she's saying the police was called again, and this is a photo of the police in her house. Now, first of all, I don't know of any police officer that would want you taking a photo of them. And under left, oh really? Under left foot is the original floor. How KJ you want a brief rundown of how KJ got to here? Who knows, Cal? Can never look. I can't work it out. I can't work KJ out. But anyway, that to me looks photoshopped. Let's just say that. And then she's saying not photoshopped, it was blurred. She's saying it was blurred, and now she's done a different picture. And she did a whole live stream on it. The leg's still the same. Yeah, the footwear's a give away the fox. So she's saying it's not photoshopped, it's blurred. I don't understand why people doubt you. Well, because the leg's still off. The thing is, so Cal, she did a whole stream on it, She did a whole live stream. Someone called the cops on me over last night's stream. Hey, if somebody wants to call the cops on me, I could do with a holiday. Sorry. Oh, that was probably then why is it so popular? Because she's popular because she is problematic. So here's the problem. Yes, it was on Twitter. The problem that I have is that Josh Duggar is currently on bail with a tracker on his ankle. He can work. She put on Twitter that he was working at his brother's car yard, and all her Twitter supporters then went and rang the police to say that he was breaching his bail conditions, rang the car yard to say that they've got a pedophile working for them. That's what she does, and it's wrong. And that's what I don't mind. You can talk about whatever you like, but she's the first one to complain about people going real life. And yet she's riled up all her people to do that, and then puts a disclaimer and say, please don't ring, please don't do this, please don't do that. Let me find the post. Right? Because she did it after everybody had said, oh, I've just rung the car yard. I've just rang the police. That is wrong. And then she complains. And that's what my problem is. It's the hypocrisy. So say, feel free to call the police on me. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'll take a holiday. Go over. I'll have an overnighter. You know, and that's why I don't get involved in I stay away from all the YouTube drama deliberately. I don't want any of that. I want to stay in my own lane, cover the stuff, but I understand that people want to find out what Katie Jo's doing, and that's what we're really doing. This is it here. So this is what she did. Right. She says, since many are asking if my sources were mistaken about seeing Josh Duggar walking around the car lot, they stated it was him. This is what the source said. A considerable amount of weight, and he has a very thick, bushy beard right now. The source says it seemed like Josh might be trying to disguise himself. Josh is the tallest of the Duggar's sons, and he already is just an overall bigger guy than Jed. Side by side, they really look the same. Not that I disbelieve that Josh is working there, but the most recent pictures of Jed is that he's gained weight. Jed looks shady. I can't look at Josh's picture. Why is he able to get out the house, much less at the scene? What is wrong with the world today? Can you left click on the photo? Oh, I don't know how that works. And that says, I thought Josh wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I think he can go to work. Please support, which look at Josh's eyes. She may have taken it down. Then she goes, what's this one? Oh, yeah. Then she's gone after LuLaRoe. Oh, here we go. It's this one, isn't it? Oh, here. Do not harass the Duggars. Do not contact them or go there to harass them. Josh is allowed to work. She put that after she posted this. She's put all of this up. Sources reveal that a drive past Jed Duggar's car lot, Champion Motorcars. She named him. She named it. Indicated that Josh Duggar is also working at the lot. Two separate sources confirmed that while driving past the lot, Josh Duggar was seen walking around the car lot. The lot is co-owned by Jed and Jim Bob Duggar. The lot is also adjacent to the home of Jed and Katie Duggar, who announced they're expecting their first child. According to online records, it has a web page and a Facebook page where they advertise their inventory. Josh Duggar is prohibited from accessing any device that is internet capable. because much of their communication with customers is online. It's unclear how Josh would avoid being online. Jed Duggar has not publicly denounced his brother. He has remained very close to his parents since the arrest. Now it seemingly appears that Jed is employing his brother at the car lot. Josh is on bond related to his arrest for downloading and receiving CSAM. More details later. Families shop there. And then take Josh to jail. It's not right. He's allowed to work. But this is so strange. Of all the things he's done, I'd say custody, trial, jail. But I'm not one of the ones that decides. Someone says, I thought he had an ankle monitor. Then couldn't leave the property. And so she's saying he can work with the exception of paid employment. I'm deleting messages that you call for going there. We do not condone harassment of anyone. So people were saying, I have a few family members in past walk past the dealership. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And she's harassed them. She's rolled up her people. Was this reported to police? Police, are you doing a video on Sunday? Isn't he supposed to be on home arrest? Is this the same place the police raided? She's deleted a whole heap of videos because a whole lot of comments where they go, I've rung the police. So because everybody had said that they were ringing the police and they were ringing the car lot, somebody talked about ringing the car lot, she then put, please do not harass. So she can say, well, I told them not to harass there. That's right, she'll order cook. But I don't know why she needed to put why did she need to put all that details in there? All she needed to say was that Josh had a job, that he was working. And she's saying that the sisters are distancing themselves from it. So that's Josh again. She actually refers to, so then, yeah, we've got that again. Well, that's the thing, Cal. You have to be honest. Yeah. And then she complains that people have done something to her. So I'm sure people have got the original. I'm certain there are screenshots out there before she put the before she deleted all the comments where people have said that they rang the police. But she didn't have to say, but again, she didn't have to mention him. You're right. She didn't have to mention him. She didn't have to say anything. And Cal, this is my issue that I have with her, because she's the first one to complain about people doing stuff to her, but it's okay for her to do it to other people. So then she says, I didn't realize I didn't like Nikki because she's married to an artist. Add this another reason not to like her. She did. She said the Doug and the Bates families have been actively promoting their joint non-profit MediCorps for their relief efforts in Haiti and Louisiana based on IRS and Arkansas Secretary of State MediCorps is not current for filing the IRS 990 or filing their annual reports with the state. Now, somebody on Twitter told her that who was an accountant questioned her. Oh, no, this was Twitter. Someone had, and that's all been deleted. So, yeah, I didn't watch either of her lives. I couldn't be bothered. I seen clips and that was enough. Broke. Janelle and Christine Brown resort to scamming fans out of cash. She actually renamed it Snake Oil. Then she's gone, actual photo of LuLaRoe founder Deanne trying to recruit Kim Kardashian. So she's photoshopped. So we know she can Photoshop, obviously, because she's put the two people together. So all she's proven today is that she knows how Photoshop works. So, oh, was it? It was manipulated at 4:53 a.m. this morning. That's interesting. See, you guys are amazing. You know your way around this stuff better than me. So anyway, cool. So on that note, I'm going to call it a night, everybody. I'm looking at the air. Cool. Great. See, you guys are amazing. I'm going to call it a night. Really? I didn't know it was Kim Kardashian either, because I've got an early start in the morning. So I just quietly, cool. Nice. As I said, I have no idea how Photoshop works. No idea at all. But yeah, so thank you for joining me. So I thought you'd make sure that you subscribe to Mocking Media. Was it Mocking Media? And sing along to the Katie Cult. Yes, so thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and whatever, all of that stuff. Let me know if you're interested in having another Q&A with Dan, the sports journalist. He, as I said, he thoroughly enjoyed it, and said if he could come back. So he liked everybody, and one of the things he did say was he was very impressed with the intelligent questions. And I said, well, I only have intelligent people on my channel. We only have intelligence here. Only intelligent people watch me. Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks, but I'll plan it out better. Won't be so last minute. Yeah, that's right, Andrew. Yeah, only intelligent people watch. So, yes. All right. So, thank you, and have a great day, great night, great afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. And I'll catch you again next time. No Grand Prix questions next time, huh? Well, yeah. So we found out he doesn't like motor racing. So, but I do. So I'm going to come up with a whole pile of motor racing questions for him. just to annoy him. All right. Thank you all. See ya.